You want to give us a lowdown in your squad? I just wonder, is there any chance that David Turnbull will be back for next week or too soon?
No, too soon for Bull. The plan with him is all going well, probably train with us, probably post the Monday game and sort of we'll see how we go from there. I mean, I don't know if he'll be available for Ross County, but he's almost back training with the team. Everyone else sort of, we had a few sore bodies at the end of the game after Livingston, 3 games in the week, and then obviously the artificial pitch took its toll a little bit, but having sort of given some of those boys a couple of days of recovery. So we're training Saturday, Sunday. I expect everyone to be available from the last game.
Yes. And there was a report a couple of days ago saying there was a possibility for Scott Brown to perhaps come back to the club. Is there anything in that? Can you see an opening for him there?
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I certainly, from my perspective, I don't think anyone should be any doubt that there will always be an open door here for Scott Brown. The guy's, one of the legends of this football club, will go down as one of its greatest ever. In terms of what he wants to do with his future, I think he's best placed to answer that. He's obviously made a decision right now, and then after that, it's kind of up to him to sort of chart his course. From my perspective, he's a guy who I've admired from afar, but having sort of been here now for obviously last sort of 8-9 months and just hearing about him and the kind of person he was as much as a footballer, as I said, he's left a massive legacy here at the football club, and from that perspective, whatever he does in the future, I'm sure there'll always be, a welcome place for him here.
And next week, Steve Clarke is due to announce his Scotland squad. Obviously, it looks like it's going to be 2 friendlies due to the ongoing situation. Obviously, those games will come just ahead of your game against Rangers. Would you be keen if it was friendly games for your players not to be involved?
Oh, no. No, I think representing your country is a special thing, and I would never, ever, as you're probably aware, I was a national team coach, so I take those things very seriously. I would never deny a player the opportunity to represent their country, whether it be a friendly, an underage tournament. At the end of your career, I can tell you that most people will never ask you how much you earn and what cars you drive. They'll ask you whether you played for your country and you won anything. They're the 2 questions you get most asked. And I tell players, if you can say yes to both, it means you've had a pretty decent career. So, no, if Steve wants to pick all my blokes, I'll be more than happy.
Do you tell that to your players? Do you tell them about the importance of representing their national team? Yeah,
absolutely. What I just said to you is what I say to players all the time. It's you get to the end of your career, and it's the most common thing people will sort of refer to. Is a lot of players have had careers, but people are always interested whether you've had the ultimate success in winning, championships, because that's what people remember. And secondly is, did you represent your country? I mean, they're kind of the 2 things I think every young player, boy or girl, starts with those kind of dreams of one day winning something and representing their country.
Hi, Ange. Just want to ask you how it's been having a full week with the players for the first time in a long time. Has it allowed you to do anything extra, anything different with them?
Yeah, well, we're only halfway through, so haven't had the full week yet. But it's been good. More than anything, like you said, it just gives us a chance to sort of map out a week and maybe do some different types of training. We haven't had to put some real work into some guys. When you've got such a heavy schedule, you're constantly aware of making sure players are recovering well and freshening up rather than putting some meaningful work into them. So we've had good 2 sessions so far. Today was a good solid hit out for the whole group. Worked hard. They'll have a rest day tomorrow, and then we'll have another 2 solid days. So, like I said, just gives us a little bit of a chance to do some different types of training sessions with a little bit more of workload. Training's really competitive these days because, as you can imagine, with everyone just about everyone fit and available, they all want to be a part of it. So, training's really competitive. So, credit to the lads. It's been a good level.
And just looking ahead to Monday night, what do you expect from Dundee United? You've had some good games with them this season, beating them 2 times. They've been quite impressive down in Glasgow as well at points. What do you think Monday night's game will look like?
Yeah, look, they've like I said, they've been been pretty good all year. We've had good games against them, but yeah, irrespective, it's a cup game, so you kind of all those kind of things become irrelevant. You know that in cup games, it really comes down to the performance on the day, and players. I think teams tend to play with a little bit more freedom in cup games. They tend to be a little bit more sort of adventurous in their play, and I think it'll be a good game. Especially at their place. But it's a quarterfinal of a cup. Both teams want to progress. Both teams, know they're only a couple of steps away from playing for a trophy. So be a good game.
Obviously, you're going into the game on Monday night, top of the league. You've won 1 trophy already this season, going well in the Scottish Cup. Do you feel that you're presiding over a side that is potentially on the brink of achieving something really special this season?
No, not really. I mean, not that can't happen, but that's not how I feel. How I feel is I'm sort of in charge of a team that's, constantly kind of looking to improve and constantly making progress and overcoming challenges that are put before them. So, that's kind of where we're at the moment. I mean, it's different if you're 2 or 3 years down the track of having an established team and having won things, and you kind of think about it that in that manner. But we're still a team that's sort of chipping away at our football, chipping away at our improving our players understanding of this football club, all those kind of things, and within that their ability their resilience to overcome the challenges we've had so far. So. I'm certainly, really just feeling like for us, what's most important is that it's not even a game at a time. It's kind of just making sure every day we're kind of improving a little bit. We know there's some massive challenges I've had. Like I said, we put ourselves in a decent position to have success this year, but knowing full well that the most important bit's ahead of us. So no point sort of dwelling too much on sort of how far we've come. It's more about where we go from here.
Hi, Ange.
Hey, Ronnie.
You said before that, you're gearing your teams up to come to their peak towards the end of the season. Are you seeing that now? 8 league games to go and 2 or 3 cup games if things go well? Yeah,
look, I mean, that's the theory, and you never know that until you get to the end of the year, whether that's worked out well. But look, we're in a good place in terms of health of the squad, how players, like I said, training's really competitive, probably the most competitive it's been all year. From the physical perspective, the numbers we're getting back is that the players are really in a good space in the way we're working through games. Our performances have been fairly stable. They haven't all been exhilarating, but we haven't had too much fluctuation. It's been pretty stable. So all those kind of indicators show me that we're in a good space to finish the season strong. But again, that's just me sitting here right now. The evidence we'll see as we go along. But I like I said, just anecdotally, observationally from me, without looking at the data, and which I do every day anyway, but my sense is that our training is at its best levels it has been all year. So that's kind of the stuff I look at, and then you hope that transfers into the game.
You said the cup games are played with a bit more freedom. Is that just simply because there's not 3 points at stake?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, particularly when you get to this time of the year and you see how much even, a point means to teams, it can be fairly constricting, whereas, cup competition, you kind of go, well, let's just go for it, and there's an opportunity there for teams to advance. I mean, it doesn't mean teams are going to sort of just open up, but I just think, there's probably particularly, while the game's 0-0, teams will have a little bit more of a go. I mean, I think back to the semi-final of the Cup and the way Hibs sort of tackled Rangers in that first half. They probably hadn't played with that sort of freedom all year. But being so close to a Cup final, and you see, that teams like that can do it. So we've got to be ready for that and to make sure we're kind of match whatever tempo and intensity there is in the game.
The media scrutiny this week over a few incidents at the game at Livingston last week, and the incident where we got a corner kick, and also the alleged handball for Tom Roderick with ruling out both our goals. And do you think that there were other instances in that game? Maybe we could have had another penalty. There could have been a red card as well, that were just completely ignored.
Look, as you know, I don't get into that too much. I mean, it seems a lot of the analysis of games here are just more referee watch than analysis of the actual game. You know, it's like, yeah, we got a corner we maybe shouldn't have, but does that mean if we don't get a corner that we should next time, that means we miss out on a goal? I mean, there's still a hell of a lot of things that need to happen for us to score from that resultant corner or resultant throw-in. But, you know, it's very easy for people to sort of look for those kind of clutches. I'll let that storyline run because that means probably people are ignoring actually what we are doing and the way we're playing. If people think that, we're in our position because we're getting favourable decisions by the officials, then more power to them. You know, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. What's important to me, I've said that around officials all year, is that they're human beings. You know, if I had to make an assessment, I've seen players and managers make a hell of a lot more mistakes than the referees this year. Let me tell you. So, we're kind of always understand that, you know, a refereeing decision could have an impact on a game, and it's how you react. We've had 2 players sent off this year. We won both those games. So if I start talking to my players about the fact that, you know what, if we get a bad decision, everything falls apart, then we can't achieve what we want to achieve. Or, you know, the only time I sort of speak about officials is, you know, if I feel like players aren't getting protection or you know, I think they miss stuff that you know, because that impacts more than just a game. That could impact, you know, we had 𝙁𝙤𝙘𝙤𝙘, who's missed a fair bit of football because of a tackle that I thought should have been punished on the day. Didn't get punished. It did retrospectively, which is good. So they're the kind of things I sort of focus on because, and again, I get people saying, well, VAR, you know, I hope it does come in because it will help the officials, absolutely. But that's not foolproof either, you know. You just have to look down south and see how much debate there are around VAR officials, VAR decisions as well. So, like I said, we kind of, and that's my sort of thing, is I just don't think, you know, you need to sort of react to those things. We just got to keep doing what we're doing.
How impressed were you with the Celtic support last Sunday?
Yeah, brilliant. You know, it's the second time we've been there, obviously, and it just feels like a home game. And it's why we were so disappointed, you know, with our first effort at Livingston that, you know, we lost, and, you know, having to send, you know, all our supporters who made such a great atmosphere home, disappointed back down the road. Like I said at the time, I think we sent them back down the road and we were in 6th spot. So, pretty pleased that this time we could reward their fantastic support. It makes a massive difference. I think that the players really, you could sense the players were up for that game on the weekend, and you could sense our supporters were up for the game as well. And it's a pretty powerful sort of force when you get them going together.
Does that League Cup win earlier in the season, does that give the guys involved in that who maybe are not as experienced in winning trophies a little bit of an extra bit of confidence going into this latter stages of this cup?
Oh, look, I think that sort of had an effect probably earlier in the year, but like I said, I felt like the team's progressed since then. We've had some other challenges along the way where, you know, we've tackled pretty well, but yeah, all these kind of things are a good experience to. In both ways. I mean, we obviously didn't have a great outcome in Europe. Even that you learn from. So you learn from both things. But again, there's the one clear message we kind of keep reinforcing here is that irrespective of what you've done in the last tournament, whether you've lifted a trophy or not, the expectations are that the next trophy that's available, that, you know, you try and win. That's, you know, you can't just say, well, we've won one trophy, that's good enough for this year. Well, no, that's not how this football club operates. And at the same time, if you're not successful, doesn't mean that you can't be successful in the next one. So, you know, I think our League Cup run and our win was great because it was real reward for a really tough sort of beginning we had as a group. But, I think since then the team sort of evolved anyway.
We saw yesterday, I think it was, Jonny Kenny, one of your signings, doing particularly well for the B team. Where do you see him as part of your plans going forward till the end of the season? Will he be involved?
Look, we'll just see how it goes. He obviously, we were happy really to get Jonny in, and we had a bit of a disrupted sort of beginning where we had to go easy with him in terms of his training. So he's back training fully, and great to see him playing again. Great to see Mikey getting a run, and 𝙘𝙤𝙘𝙧𝙚𝙚. The reports I got back were all three were very good in terms of their attitude and the way they went about the game, which is great. And with all the young guys, it's the same thing. They're here with us every day. They're in front of me every day. There is nothing written in their contracts or sort of ingrained in me to say that if they're not, if they don't deserve to play, that I won't put them out there. With Jonny, all these young guys that are with us every day, they got a chance to put their case forward to be part of it. But at the same time, we especially with the younger ones and the new ones who've come in, we're happy to be patient, let them adjust to life here and training here, and see where that takes them.
Last week, the team showed real resilience after Callum missed the penalty. We went on the attack right away, and Callum could have scored again, and then we did score from that corner. Just after that, are you confident that any time this Celtic team faces any pitfalls or difficulties, like goes behind in a game, that we'll be able to come back and equalise and even go on and win the game?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer we don't miss penalties. That could help us a little bit, but I'm confident in this group of players that, as I keep saying, the one characteristic they've shown above others is probably resilience, because we've had a million possible reasons why we shouldn't be in this position we are right now with the season we've had, but the players have risen above that. So, as I said before, whether it's we've been down to 10 men in a game, we've missed penalties, we've fallen behind, we've had injuries to key players, all those kind of things you can use as a reason of why you couldn't achieve something. But the players have just embraced it, that whether that's within games or between games, that, okay, we missed a penalty, we missed a couple of chances, but you know what, let's just keep going. And that includes even when you do score, because sometimes, when you do score, you can sort of sit back, but you just saw the way we started the second half was, we came out with a real intent to finish them off, and we got our goals, and I think that's as good a sign as us sort of not letting the negative stuff or potentially whatever the misses we have get to us. Just as important is that when we do get ahead, we don't sort of get into a comfort zone. We find that opportunity to now's our chance to kill the game off. So I think on both sides, this group of players has been excellent in just dealing with more adversity, whether that's, like I said, within games or just in between games.
And as we said earlier, Mikey Johnson was back for the B team yesterday. Is he close to a first team squad return, and do you think he could play a big part between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, look, so that was the whole idea sort of with Mikey. He missed a couple of weeks. Mikey, 𝙘𝙤𝙘𝙧𝙚 and Jonny get him some game time, and they're available, and that means they got through their game okay. They obviously had today off because they played, but they'll be back training with us on Saturday, and they're available. And Mikey's in, like I said, the same boat as everyone else. To be fair, it's not easy, because if you come to our training at the moment, I've got the easy job. I could pick probably 2 or 3 different 11s and still come out looking like a genius, but the boys are the ones who are working really hard, and they're fighting hard for spots, not just within the 11, but within the squad. And I think that's exactly the space we want to be in, where they're all pushing each other, and that means if they do get an opportunity, they're in good shape, and that includes guys like Mikey.